So now should we go to House Kadik?
This is exactly the impression we don't want to give.
Please, Jamal. Don't you see how all this works in our favor? It's not up for discussion. I won't risk what we've worked so hard to achieve. It's done.
No, you'd risk our future and reputation as a house. But you are the chosen elder.
Ah, don't patronize me. The Great Serpent spared our house. We are favored here. And shouldn't you get back to the council? We can't afford to be absent at a time like this.
I guarantee I'm not missing much. But you're right. I'll be heading back soon enough. Something I can do for you?
Shit.
Okeem is lucky to be made dust. Death was too merciful a punishment. So, Ekris has sent our newest harbinger to inquire about Sahima. Don't worry, Jamal's already told me all about you. I'm Razma, elder of House Kadik and head of the Ministry of Conjunction.
What is Ministry of
The
Conjunction?
Ministry of Conjunction is one of the 3 government branches of our society. We deal in information to ensure the High Council can make educated decisions. Most of our work is highly classified. Even the High Council itself may not be aware of all that we're involved in.
Okay.
House Kadik is one of the 3 noble houses under House Varun. We've a reputation on being the more moderate of the 3. Not as fervent as House Vithal, and not as passive as House Dokef. We're also largely associated with the Ministry of Conjunction, since I lead the department. Well, it's also an honor to meet one as interesting as yourself. I wouldn't have suspected an outsider to be made promised. But who am I to argue with the Great Serpent's choice?
Yes, Great Serpent.
Impressive. I see now why you must have been chosen. I know the Council is looking to Sahima for answers. But the truth is, she's been taken, along with other members of the House. They're being held hostage by Zealots. And now they're demanding negotiations.
This is a major overreach. I have never known the Zealots to be so bold.
Yeah, like...
You are right when it comes to trust. But I don't believe the negotiations are a trap. The Zealots have yet to name specifics. At best, they'll demand an inordinate amount of credits or firearms. Worst case, a seat at the High Council, or even the reinstatement of their house. House Maleen. They know we can't risk Sahima for Dazra's sake. So, they won't hold back when it comes to demands. Yes, and it's exactly why I need the upper hand in these negotiations. I need you to find the hostages. Bring them home, so the Zealots have nothing to leverage, and Sahima can work with the High Council. Normally I'd have agents doing everything possible to find them. But we too suffered losses. We need to be here. Present. I couldn't risk more lives. It's the only reason I even agreed to these negotiations. But now that you're here, I can finally take action.
Great Serpent guides me.
Yes. It does seem more than mere coincidence, doesn't it? But there's still one unanswered question. I don't know where the Zealots are keeping Sahima, but I have a good idea who does. Their name is Merrick. Merrick is a Kadik, and they also work for me as an agent in the Ministry of Conjunction. This is where matters get complicated.
That's why it's complicated. People don't love us. Like,
I suppose this looks very black and white to you. If only that were the case. As I said, Merrick works for me in the Ministry of Conjunction. They've been establishing an inside relationship with the Zealots for some time now. On my orders. Forcing them to give up the information could jeopardize all they've worked for. So don't expect them to be forthcoming. Get the information any way you see fit. As long as no physical harm comes to them.
Understood.
Merrick is proud of what they've accomplished, so I doubt they'll give up information easily. If being persuasive isn't your strong suit, perhaps appealing to their substantial ego may help. If you can stomach it. Just don't be direct. I'm sure it would put them on the defensive. Either that, or make them completely unwilling to talk.
okay.
See that you do. You'll find Merrick upstairs in the meditation room.
Oh, it's chilling here.
You're no member of House Kadik. What are you doing here? Forgive me, I didn't realize we were entertaining guests. You must be the outsider I heard of who shares our beliefs. So tell me, what would a chosen one such as yourself want with someone like me?
I'm looking for a certain zealot base.
Perhaps you need to lay off the Koza, my friend. You're talking nonsense. Absolutely ridiculous.
Rasmussen, so I must serve.
So much for confidentiality. I guess this means the High Council is still asking Auntie Razma where Sahima is. And if you're here making demands, she obviously has decided to make use of you rather than undergo sincere negotiations. I see what's going on here.
Then it's important to reveal location of the zealot
On the
base.
contrary, I know how important it is to keep that information confidential. I've worked hard to obtain my position with the Zealots. And like I've told Razma 1,000 times, I have no reason to believe they're going to hurt my dear cousins, especially Sahima. So, as far as I'm concerned, that information stays with me.
Manipulation. You can't say if you pursue you are risking lives of Kadik's integrity.
You make a good point, for an outsider. And perhaps I should take your presence here as a sign. The location you're looking for is Shadow Station Epsilon. It's an old Varun base that they've taken over for themselves. Razma will know it. Let her tell you the details, seeing as how I'm about to be reassigned.
Okay.
It better.
You must have gotten the location. Well done. And luckily, I know the place. If my intel is correct, you can find Shadow Station Epsilon in the Badlands, north of Dazra. I can send you the coordinates. Shadow Station Epsilon is one of many Zealot bases scattered throughout. As I mentioned before, I wasn't willing to risk agent lives in order to scout them all.
I mean, she's right.
If anything happens to the hostages, they will lose a lot more than leverage.
We will do whatever is necessary to bring Sahima and the others back safely.
Now that we have a rescue mission underway, I'll speak to Merrick about setting up the negotiations. I expect them to be pliable after their last encounter with you. The current plan is to hold them at one of the geothermal power stations. Meet us there when Sahima and the others are safe.
Okay, buddy.
I see you have a grasp on how these types of negotiations work. I'll stall the Zealots as long as I can, which shouldn't be an issue. That being said, I'd still appreciate it if you could act quickly. Now, Jamal wants an update before you leave. Just don't let her distract you for too long.
Talk to Jima.
Harbinger, a word before you go. Tell me, Harbinger, what do you know about the Zealots?
I mean,
An oversimplified observation, but correct nonetheless. The Zealots are widely frowned upon within our society. They're a remnant of the Serpent's Crusade, days we'd like to forget.
so there's
Has
schizos.
my dear sister given you any history on our house's relations with the Zealots?
I said Mirek is organized relationship with the Zealots.
I'm surprised she even mentioned that much. Razma would have everyone believe she only wishes to keep an eye on the Zealots, so the Council can make informed decisions. The truth is, she's had this particular group of Zealots under her thumb for quite some time. This is only a problem now because she's lost control. That is the real reason why Razma hasn't informed the High Council, and I'm sworn to silence.
That sounds like an incredibly foolish plan.
Exactly.
I mean,
House Kadik already has a reputation
this is kind of
for being
sussy.
sympathetic to the Zealots. But the truth is far worse. Razma wants the Zealots to back House Kadik, so the balance of power between the noble houses would shift to us. She's been employing them, paying them in supplies that aid their blind crusade. House Kadik would be condemned should anyone outside our house
I mean, we
find
already
out.
knew about
What
this
none of us expected
from the
was
other
the
quest, right?
disaster that is the Scaled Citadel. The aftermath is what allowed the Zealots to grab Sahima and the others, flipping the balance of power in their favor. Razma has lost control and is putting House Kadik's reputation and power at risk.
Plus, it let us have no power in these negotiations.
And that's what I wish to speak to you about. House Kadik shouldn't be associating with Zealots at all, except on an extermination level. But worse, we absolutely cannot be supplying them with ordnance of any kind. We need to cut ties with the Zealots altogether. Not unless you want to be considered one yourself. I want you to put an end to any connections between House Kadik and the Zealots. And while my position won't allow me to be blunt, I'll still make it clear. Should the hostages not survive, Razma would blame the Zealots and cut all ties.
An extreme sacrifice for the sake of your house.
I'm doing what I must to preserve this house.
I mean, she is kind of
All
cooking,
you
but
need to get is Sahima's research, which she has with her. A wise decision, Harper.
I mean, the Zealots are just terrorists.
You may have
They
guessed,
always like
we
attack me,
can't
so.
afford any loose ends, and you'll need a cover story for Rasma. When you arrived, the Zealots had already killed the hostages, so you exacted revenge in House Kadik's name. Yes, but don't worry. I'll be there to reinforce what Rasma already knows. The Zealots cannot be trusted. You'd fit well in the Ministry of Conjunction. That is, if you succeed.
I mean, it's propaganda.
I look
so.
forward to seeing you at the negotiations.
I mean, we're just doing some propaganda shenanigans, pretty sure. I mean, we can travel to Shrine of Obedience. Okay, so you need to be like very, very cheeky on this one. Man, this is full of clowns. Oh, turret control now. Okay. The fuck? That was odd, if I may say so.
Kill me, and another will take my place. We shall make you penitent.
Ooh, expert. Okay, that guy was literally... My guy was literally railed down. They have turrets there. I mean, if I could get the turrets, like, that would be good.
Now we are having the spoils of victory. Hopefully they amount to something.
Jesus Christ.
Take your best shot.
Let's get the robots out at least.
Are you prepared to die?
Jesus Christ. Another pain blade. Oh boy.
If you're here to help, that zealot had a key. You have to get me out of here.
Okay, so... Do we kill her now?
Who are you?
Okay, Andrea didn't enjoy that shit. Okay.
If you're here to help, that zealot has a key. You have to get me out of here. Who? I knew the serpent would hear. It's more than just me. There are others. The zealots have been using them to force me to continue my research here. They think I have all the answers since the original experiment was a catastrophic failure.
The Zealots were wise in their tactics. Up until now.
Well, the zealots think they are forcing me to continue my research here. They want me to apply my theories to an scaled citadel debacle. Somehow they ascertained my previous involvement. So my theory is correct. Or I should say, the High Council now believes my theory, the better theory, is correct. I knew it! I told them their algorithms and insufficient testing were only giving the illusion of stability. But no one wants to listen to me. Not the girl who put people twice my age to shame when it came to assessments.
Jesus Christ.
Of course. This is what it would take for Razma to send someone after me. Negotiations? Oh, right. I'd almost forgotten. I overheard the Zealots mention negotiating with House Kadik, so the motivations are clear. Not only does the High Council deem me important, but Razma needs to remove me from the equation. I get it. But at least now everyone knows I was right. All right. First, we need to free the other hostages. The Zealots aren't aware of how I've been delving into their systems here. I told them I needed full access if they expect me to replicate the Nazco's experiment, and I didn't even bother with risk assessment. They think I'm applying my theories to their poor excuse for technology down here. Granted, I could probably make it work if I had to.
Alright, Miss Humility.
Right. Focus. The other hostages are being kept just beyond this room. I can disengage the locks to their cell and grant you access to an elevator in the room beyond that will take them to safety. You just have to clear out that area first, and the Zealots down there are different. The Zealots you'll encounter beyond here are
Oh,
altered
so they
somehow.
are...
To be made thus would be to show them the Great Serpent's mercy.
So they are changed.
Oh, I'm not going anywhere yet. While you get the rescue underway, I'm going to set up certain guarantees here. I'll meet you and the others outside.
Okay.
I'm more than capable of handling myself. Besides, the Zealots think they need me, so my life isn't in danger. If I'm not out there when you free the hostages, just come back for me. Well, you have to. I just need enough time to set up a remote device so I can launch a virus that will render this place useless. Think of it as a failsafe to guarantee our safety. The Zealots would never risk this base or their ships.
Okay.
You sure will.
I mean, Andreja, like, was cooking me. Okay, so... I'm going to assume that, like, the Zealots here are just... Well, they're redeemed. Ah! Okay, like, these guys being bullet sponges is not kosher at all. Like, I'm going to actually put, like, my damage being, like, really high, and their damage being extremely high. Otherwise, like, my weapons are pea shooters, and they're not, like, realistic, so to speak.
Serpent be merciful.
Okay, so these are the other guys, okay.
Has help finally arrived?
Who are you? You aren't a zealot. Who are you? The Great Serpent is merciful. And Tahima? Did you find her yet? I wish it were that easy. The zealots separated us. Our brethren are still out there. Please, I can ready my people here, but you'll have to deal with the zealots and rescue the others so we may all escape safely.
Okay.
We'll be ready.
Okay, let me do something first. I'm gonna do that shit that I was saying. Like, I'm gonna do it like this for now. Because it means that, like, combat is kinda... Like, basically they can one-shot me, and I can one-shot them, so... Which kinda makes sense.
I cannot wait.
Jesus Christ. I mean, this is actually more exciting, though. With the remaining hostages.
Great serpent. Thank the serpent. I thought I was done for.
If you are free soon, could we talk?
So there has to be, like, more, like, in these places here. This has to be, like, a way out. Where would more hostages be? No, there she is.
The great serpent has heard me. Thank you.
things I wish to discuss with you. When you have time.
Everyone's alive.
That's everyone accounted for. You did it! It's true what they say. The air really does smell fresher.
Serpent bless you. We owe you our lives. Thank you.
It certainly was a test of faith, but one I hope we all passed. Now, I believe you have some negotiations to attend to. I'm going to stay back a moment and make sure everyone feels okay to make it back safely. I'll catch up with you shortly. Just let me know where the negotiations are taking place. Have I mentioned I'm sick of people telling me what to do? I'm staying. I'll
Jesus.
be there when it counts. Now go.
These members of your house have suffered. I can respect your decision.
Serpent was truly watching over us.
Okay, so now we need to get to the Badlands power station. Which is here.
Can we speak for a moment? Yes?
About the negotiations.
Is your intent to be unreasonable the whole time? I thought this was a negotiation.
We're having a friendly chat, aren't we? It's not my fault you don't find my offers acceptable.
Nah, just the person I wanted to see. Please tell me you bring good news. And I'm going to enjoy every minute of it.
Razma, who is this? You allow any commoner to just waltz in on official business.
Official
I'd
business.
expect better security from House Kadik.
This is hardly official business.
Yes. And now these so-called negotiations are over.
Over? You'd risk everything after the whispers of a stranger. I demand to know who this is.
I am the super chosen.
You think I care about Anasko Varun, son of a traitor? Only a complete fool would expect me to believe this.
It's true, Mihail. And if you don't leave now, peacefully, I'll make sure your ships and Shadow Station Epsilon are made dust.
You... How did you... You're bluffing.
Test me. You think a genius mind like mine wouldn't find a way to hack into every system in your base? This remote device will launch a virus that will detonate systems within Epsilon, and reach your ships as well.
You realize how this may affect future partnerships, Razma. You'd jeopardize our connections.
It jeopardizes nothing. It merely restores the natural order.
The natural order. I could take you all out here and now. You know every one of us is prepared to answer the Serpent's call.
Perhaps so.
Only a heretic would be blind to the Great Serpent's work.
Oh, my eyes are open. It's just hard to discern the truth through all the treachery. You may be newly promised, but I can't deny how the pieces fit. All right. I won't deny my brethren the death they deserve. But I won't forget this either. Don't think this won't change anything, Razma.
Things have already changed, Mihail. From the moment you kidnapped House members. These negotiations are over. Now leave us.
That was intense.
I mean, they were packing heavy gear, so...
Something I can do for you?
House Kadik is in your debt.
As am I. I owe you my life.
Tahima, you are a part of this house.
I know. I just wanted to say thank you. personally. And here, it's the research and algorithm the High Council wants. I'm sure they'll appreciate it more coming from you. I'm going back to check on the others, but maybe come find me when you're done. Great. You can find me at the Great House whenever you get the chance.
We'll talk later, Sahima. As I was saying, House Kadik is in your debt. You've helped me maintain a very precarious balance. And one day it will. But until then, they're a necessary evil. One that we'll be keeping a much closer eye on. I'd appreciate it if you kept this a secret.
I'm not shit worried about.
If you're referring to the members of House Kadik, the others involved know better than to speak of this. As much as it disappoints me, I can't say I'm surprised. Jamal's never cared for our view with the Zealots. And she has no love for those taken. But this is what makes her an excellent mediator. You and the rest of our house. Now, I have much to do, and so do you. Ekris and the High Council will be expecting you.
Okay.
If you have the time, I wish to speak to you. You do not understand. I saw a Nasco, took measure of his burdens.
What you are describing is a dream, nothing more.
Not a dream. A message from the Great Serpent himself.
With all due respect to your craft, dear sister, now is not the time for incense and ash leaves. Or do you not see the depth of the crater before you?
On the contrary, brother, I see it for what it truly is. And if we ignore this vision, Anasco will be lost to us forever.
Enough of the proselytizing. The Harbinger has returned. Ah, were you able to find Sahima? Perfect. I have no doubt Sahima's work is the key to stabilizing the mourning device. If only the others had listened to her, we may not have lost so much of our great city. This leaves houses Dul Kef and Vethol.
Politics can wait. Every moment we delay, Anasco descends further into the void.
For the last time, faith will not remove the barrier. Science will.
It is the hubris of science that failed you in this moment. We reached out to the Great Serpent. This is his reply.
You claim he has forsaken us?
I do no such thing. The Great Serpent's reply is not an answer, but a question. Are we worthy of his grace? Until that is proven, your works will not succeed.
Yeah, the showing obscures the way forward for those black things.
And they will be made husks in the end, just as Jinan foretold. But the proof is not in our words. It is in the vision. Anasco's presence still persists in this world, and he seeks our aid.
Fine. I feel like I've lived this argument 1,000 times, and the only way to move past it is to concede to its nonsense. Harbinger, speak to my sister. Agree to her fool's errand, so that we may continue the work of saving this city.
Okay, Zealous Overreach is done, though.